Okay, it started now. So today we are so fortunate to have His Grace Manidhar Prabhu from Reading, Pennsylvania, and Prabhuji will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 8 Canto, 14 chapters, verse number 7. So Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please take over the call now. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna, all the devotees, all glory to Srila Prabhupada Guru Maharaj. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve Srimad Bhagavatam and glorify. Mataji, can you make me co-host? I can try to share my screen.
Continuous Prabhu, please.
Oh, yes. Meanwhile, we can start the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tojaya Mudirayet Nashtuprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Hare
You are the
Krishna.
host now.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. I hope you can see the screen. We have Mangalacharan. We can read and to invoke the auspiciousness. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishbhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा. So today we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 8, Chapter 14 and verse number 7 onwards. Before we recite this verse, we can discuss what we have covered so far. This is a very, very short chapter, and it basically describes about the the creation and so second, yeah. So yeah, this chapter actually we have covered already first six verses. So in the first two verses, as we can see, Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring, and then Sukdev Goswami is replying to his questions. So this is a conversation going on between Sukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. Now, in the first two verses, here Krishna is it says Krishna appoints all the devatas like Indra and Agni to control the relevant departments, to control the rain, heat, and other things. So even though they have this power, but Devi Devata, they cannot act independently because their opulence, their authority, and their power, they are all granted by Krishna, right? So for the learning for a devotee is in our material life, whatever intelligence we have, opportunities, or health, wealth, or anything we get, like it's a gift from Krishna. So we should not think, okay, this is like independent. This is I earned it, like you know. So it's all a gift from Krishna. It's all given by Krishna, just like demigods have been given those powers. So right, like in case of Indra, like when he's the king of heaven, so when he tries to enjoy, um, like only when Krishna grants him. And now Krishna's further instruction in the third and fourth verse were, um, Sukadeva Goswami continue to say, um, the Krishna is instructing demigods, like their duties to maintain this cosmic order, right? It's not like you have the power and you don't do your dharma. So those people who follow this plan, like whatever dharma they are in, like whatever duty they are supposed to do, they receive the blessings from the Lord, right? So we have to, as a devotee, we have to learn, we have to align our work and our activities with Krishna. And how do we do that? Like we do that through chanting, we do that through service, right? So by doing that, we are aligning our activities. So I give an example from Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada arrived, he had nothing. So in every step, basically, there were challenges like printing the books and finding the disciples and opening temples and everything. So this was all arranged by Krishna, right? Then in the fifth verse, it talks about, yeah, the fifth verse it talks about um, false ego, basically. So Krishna is reminding about the time actually. Um, he says about all this material power and the wealth, everything is temporary, and they are subject to the kal. As the time progresses, these things will vanish, right? So even the demigods and kings, they are also humbled by the time, and it will destroy their false pride, and it will destroy their independence also. So that's the learning from this fifth verse. And the sixth verse, Prabhuji explained yesterday very nicely. The yagnas and the devotional service. So, so participating in these activities aligns the person with Krishna's cosmic plan, just like all the demigods are doing here. So we can, some of the key takeaways from those first six verses, as I understood, um, Krishna is a supreme controller, and all the material powers and everything originates from him. And Krishna is a Purna. Even though he creates so many universes, it's not like something, Lord is not complete. Lord is complete. His planet, his universes are also complete. Then the second is, um, material power is conditional. Like Krishna can grant that, and Krishna can take away those powers. Like nothing is permanent. Um, then who is maintaining this universe? That is all done by Lord, and so we have to align our activity. Then devotional application as a key takeaway from those first 6 verses is we have to use every movement, like our intelligence and any opportunity for the loving service of Krishna. Okay, so we can continue to the next verse, 7th. But before that, I would like to say I read a very nice quote, how to study Srimad Bhagavatam. So I was reading one of the purport. It says, um, the only qualification one needs to study this great book of transcendental knowledge is to proceed step by step, cautiously, and not jump forward haphazardly like with an ordinary book. It should be gone through chapter by chapter and one after another. And this reading matter of the Srimad Bhagavatam is arranged with its original Sanskrit text. It has the translation, it has synonyms, it has purports by Srila Prabhupada and commentaries given by acharyas. So, so, so that, like, if anybody reads it, they are sure to become a God-realized soul. Right. So that was a very nice thing we read, because we have seen like many preachers or professional people, they just directly go to the 10th canto and start discussing about Lord's pastimes. But before that, we have to understand, like, Srimad Bhagavatam is complete. It should be started um, from the start, actually. So Srimad Bhagavatam is known as, basically, it's a complete Krishna. Um, it's like, first chapters, like, they are the Lord's feet. Um, so this is like complete body of the Krishna. And yeah, so, like, first chapter, first I think 2 cantos, they are the lotus feet of Krishna, and the third and fourth canto, they are the thighs of Krishna, and
Oh, oh, oh.
the fifth chapter, fifth canto, is the navel, the creative impetus. Then the sixth chapter is the chest of Lord, and the seventh and eighth are the arms. Ninth canto is the throat, and the 10th is the lotus face, and the 11th is forehead, and the 12th is the top of the head. So it's like a complete body of Krishna in this Srimad Bhagavatam form. So I thought I should share with you, because we read this scripture every day. So we can come to the 7th verse for today's. Indro Bhagavata Dattam Trailokya Shriyam Urjitam Bhunjanha Bhunjanah Pati Lokam Strin Kamam Loke Pravarshiti. Translation: Indra, king of heaven, receiving benedictions from Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus enjoying highly developed opulences, maintains the living entities all over the 3 worlds by pouring sufficient rain on all planets. So there is no purport given here um, in this verse. So here we can say, King of heaven, Indra, is receiving the benedictions from who? From the supreme source of power. And supreme source of power, supreme personality of Godhead, is Krishna. So what that means is Indra is not self-made. Like he's not like self-created. So all his creation, his power, his opulences, they come from Krishna only. And he is the ultimate of Krishna is the ultimate source of every power in existence, whether in this material world or in the spiritual world. That includes all the demigods also. I mean, they are not independent. So another thing, it's talk about maintenance of this world. So who is maintaining? Although it is being by the will of Lord, but there are different departments given. Like Indra has a duty to provide rain and to sustain the life in the three world, right? Um, so that's because of the blessings from Krishna only. Now this verse basically, what is the connection here with a devotional connection is, um, this verse emphasizes, like, anything in this world, it's anything useful in this world, like, everything is ultimately given by Krishna. Whatever we see, like, in the nature or anything that scientists have reproduced, any cars or anything, this is all ultimately given by Krishna. Like in Ishopanishad, like, it says a person can manufacture something and he will put his label and then he say, okay, I created that. But where are the raw materials? Where are the things, ingredients coming from? They are all coming from, provided by Lord only, right? And then we put the expiry date on the top of it. So this is all, like, Krishna's um, ultimately given by Lord. Um, Other thing is, all this human intelligence, wealth, and everything, they are temporary, and they are also um, given given by Krishna. So we have to engage those things in the service of the Lord. And we know, like, how can we engage um, whatever we have in the service of the Lord, like, our body, um, our material things, we can all provide in the service of the Lord here. For example, there is a when Krishna wants like Indra or any demigods, he will give them the authority, right? So, and then he can take it back also, and he can give them the lesson as well, right? So, so the lesson is basically, ultimately everything, any material success is, it's ultimately, it's a Krishna's gift only. So we have to recognize it, right? As a devotee also, like Srila Prabhupada says, everything comes from Krishna, even with wealth, knowledge, or position, and we enjoy is given by him. So one should use all these for his service only, right? Um, the next is, just trying to see if any other thing we can take from this verse. Another thing I want to say is, like, Lord arranges the circumstances for a devotee to hear and to chant and serve him also. Like, for example, if a devotee, if a person, like, he, he he don't know anything about chanting, he doesn't know about Krishna. So Lord will, as he reciprocate, as based on his karma, like somebody will come into his life and introduce Krishna to him. So this is a example of opportunities. So they are not like suddenly it happened. It's all opportunity. They are all given by Krishna only. Like they are gift from mercy from the Lord. So we have to. So for a devotee, practitioner devotee, we have to recognize that nothing is independent of Lord. Um, we have to cultivate our humility. But we have to be humble. Like we have got this opportunity to serve Lord, to serve Harinam. So we have to chant nicely. then Krishna will personally guide his devotee, just like Srila Prabhupada. Even though Srila Prabhupada has so many challenges, but Krishna was always with him and guiding him. In case of example from Srimad Bhagavatam, we just read the Gajendra Moksha. Like Gajendra was struggling for ages, for thousands of years against that crocodile, but nothing happened. So when Lord gave him the mercy, when Lord heard his prayers, then he appeared basically. Srila Rupa Goswami also provide some practical ways for a devotee, how a devotee can develop his love for Krishna. And we know like topmost are like Shravan, Kirtan, Smarna, Padasevanam. So Shravan is like, hearing, listening from the like scripture, from the pure devotees, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. And Kirtan is chanting. And Smarna is the remembering, constantly remembering the Lord's pastimes and qualities. So if we read or hear Srimad Bhagavatam any pastime about the Lord, then throughout the day we can remember it. And then serving Krishna, like Pada Sevanam, Archa Sevana, then daily we can offer bhoga to the Lord, cleaning the temple, helping other devotees. This is all like practical example Srila Rupa Goswami provides. And he says in Nectar of Devotion, there is a quote like, a devotee's heart becomes attracted to Krishna and gradually he or she develops a love for the Lord. So which is the supreme achievement of all supreme practices. So how does our heart becomes attracted to Krishna? Only when we serve, when we do the devotional service. When we hear, when we chant, when we serve the Lord, associate with the devotees. So that was like, a perfect example given by Rupa Goswami to develop the relationship with Krishna. Like another example, very high level, it's a gopis, like, they left everything, their home, their families, to, associate with the Krishna, to serve him. For a, for a devotees, we can say that only how do we develop the personal relationship? Through the devotional service only. And as I said, like practical methods were chanting and hearing and remembering. So then Krishna will reciprocate accordingly. Then we can take the next verse. There is no purport also here. Jnanam chan yugam brute harihi siddhasvarup drika rishi rupa dharha karma yogam yogesha rup drika. Translation: in every yuga, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari assumes the form of siddhas, such as Sanak, to preach transcendental knowledge. He assumes the form of a great saintly person, such as Yajnavalkya, to teach the way of karma. And he assumes the form of great yogis, such as Dattatreya, to teach the system of mystic yoga. Purport given by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. For the benefit of human society, all human society, not only does the Lord assume the form of Manu as an incarnation to rule the universe properly, but he also assumes the forms of a teacher, a yogi, Gyani, and so on, for the benefit of human society. The duty of human society, therefore, is to accept the path of action enunciated by the Supreme Lord. In the present age, the sum and substance of all Vedic knowledge is to be found in Bhagavad Gita, which is personally taught by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the same Supreme Godhead, assuming the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, expands the teachings of Bhagavad Gita all over the world. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is so kind and merciful to human society that he is always anxious to take the fallen souls back home, back to Godhead. So we can discuss this verse. First of all, here it says in the translation, every yuga means Lord appears um, in um, in every yuga in um, different forms. Krishna has like unlimited forms to perform his divine pastimes, as we know, and he protects his devotees and he maintains the universe also. So his forms, as for Bhagavatam, it is it is said Krishna appears in original form, which is his Swayam Rupa. Swayam Rupa is um, the Krishna's form, and you will see, like, whenever you see the picture of Krishna, you will never see Krishna has I mean he's become old, Krishna is always depicted as a beautiful youth. He's a dark complexion, and like the color is like a rain cloud, and he's playing a flute, and he has a peacock feather. He's wearing it. So we'll never see Krishna in a old age picture. He never grows old like us. Although he's the oldest person in the whole creation, right? Whether it is in the past, present, or in the future, and his like human, our body changes every minute. Um, so and our intelligence also deteriorates basically. But for Krishna, it doesn't happen. He's Supreme Lord. So he appears in this material world um, to in a different forms, like as I said, original form. And the other form of the Krishna is tad ekam rupa. Tad ekam rupa is means similar forms like Vishnu. Similar forms like Vishnu, we'll discuss. And then third form is a Avesh form, which is a empowered form, like Shaktavesh. So this will include Krishna is in a childhood form, um, and Krishna's universal form, and various avatars. So everything is all included in these three categories: Sham Rupa, Tadekam Rupa, and Avesha. So when Krishna appears, his childhood form is a Bal Krishna. So he's he's depicting as a crawling child, a butter thief, and Lord Damodar. And there are so many leelas he did. The Lord's universal form, which is a Vishwarupa form, it's a reveal to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. And that form contains the entire cosmos, and it shows all his divine power. And Arjuna asked Krishna. Then Tat Ekam Rupa means when Krishna expands into Vishnu form. Um, Vishnu forms means a Purusha avatar. And why he appears in a Vishnu form, in the Purusha avatar, to manage all the material creation. And how does he manage? Like, these Purusha avatar includes Lord's three forms, like Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshai, and Shirodakshai. I mean, we have read so many times. So these are all part of Krishna's uh, Purusha avatar, which is a Tadekam Rupa. Then Lord comes to this world, to every yuga, like, other is a Leela avatar. Um, right? Leela avatar means such as a Lord Ram, um, then Lord Narsimha, Varahadev. So, and in the future, Kalaki avatar. So all these, Lord Buddha. So all these are like Leela avatar. Lord performs his Leela and then he goes back. Um, then his other forms that when we read purport, Srila Prabhupada has given, is a philosophical form of Krishna. What are those? We know one is Brahman. Brahman means like, impersonal. When somebody says, okay, the soul merges into the Lord, and that's it. There is no karma. There is nothing. So that Brahman is the Jyoti. It's a effulgence of the Lord, basically. So that is also the form of Krishna. That is a Brahman form. The second is Paramatma form of Krishna. Paramatma form means like, when we say Lord is sitting inside our heart. So that is a Paramatma form. And then third form is the Supreme Person, like Krishna himself. So those are like, some categories when Krishna appears um, like in every age. Then when Krishna appears, all these material qualities also comes from him. Like material qualities, like three modes of um, nature. Like, we say like um, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. They are also part of Krishna's material energy, right? So, and that Krishna Lord explains in the Bhagavad Gita, um, all these three modes, how these are like part of his material energy. Um, so Lord has like all these infinite transcendental qualities, right? Um, and these are the origin of all other mundane, all other relative qualities that you see in the material world. For example, if somebody says, okay, I see the aeroplane and all these things flying in the air, this is something scientists will say, yes, we have done it, and um, we don't believe in the scripture, we don't believe in the God, and there might not have been any plane or anything. But there were like, thousands time better planes were there. Like, we read this Kardam Muni's pastime here, like, he created a plane. And even in the Ramayana also, the Ravan stole the plane of Kubera also. So those things were there. And when somebody says, we have so many big data centers to store the things, we have such highly intellectual people to do the accounting. All these things are there they are coming from Krishna only, like in his transcendental qualities. Like when we say how the Yamraj takes care of all the good and bad activities of all the living entities. So this is all done by them, and this is much thousands times better than here in the material world. So all these things are derived from those qualities, all these attributes that Krishna provides. Then one may ask, like, why these material, um, like, qualities exist basically. Why did we come here? Um, so the some simple answer to that, like, is those who like those who desire to enjoy separately from Krishna. So Lord provided a place to experience this material things, right? So these material things, they are like, to enjoy that, Lord provided us this the temporary body. And there are differences between the material qualities and the spiritual qualities. The, the material qualities, they are like, they are subject to destruction. They are temporary, and they are like, they are characterized by these dualities. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are in distress, sometimes somebody is rich and poor, and all this. So these are all material qualities. They will not be stable. They will not be permanent. Versus the spiritual or the transcendental qualities coming from Lord, they're eternal. Like we say, Lord Krishna is Bhagwan. So why Krishna is a Bhagwan? We say those who has a six opulences, including the absolute beauty, the absolute strength, absolute knowledge and renunciation, everything, those things are present. He's a Lord. I mean, if somebody like you may think now today is Elon Musk, um, you know, even though he may be rich, he's considered to be rich, like, in this planet. But if we compare to the strength, is he is he all powerful? Is he all knowledgeable, or is he all renunciate? He's not. So these spiritual qualities, they are eternal and they come from Lord only. But as a human, like we living entities, we have those material qualities, and then we get bewildered by the Maya. And Maya is nothing but it's an external energy of the Lord. And Maya is something which is, the simple meaning of the Maya is that which is not. Like it's an illusion. Um, so simple words, Maya acts as a curtain um, that covers a person's real identity, real spiritual nature, and that made him forget what's my divine relationship with the God. And he doesn't know that, okay, I am the spirit soul, I'm not this body. So due to the curtain, he forgets his relationship with the Lord. So he forgets the Lord, he forget his identity, and then he identify himself that yes, I'm from India, I'm a man, I'm American, all these things. Then he's looking for the happiness in the temporary things, like running after money and sense gratification on all these things. So this is all our effect of Maya. And then he forgets the Lord, engages in some abominable activities, um, and then he will think that wrong is right, which means like he is into the mode of ignorance. He will say that, okay, we should enjoy the life, watch, go, all these bad habits people have, and there are like endless things. So how can we overcome with this bewilderment, with these effects of the Maya? It's simple, basically. One has to be in Krishna conscious um, to overcome this illusion, and take the shelter of what Lord has said in Bhagavad Gita. And other thing is spiritual knowledge. As we read, as we hear more, we know our true nature. What is our true nature of this soul? and what is our relationship with the Lord. Otherwise, a common person, he would not even think about feeding the soul. He will just say, okay, I'm just the body. I should just 9 to 5 job, enjoy, sleep, just like animal life, sleeping, eating, mating, and defending, all these things. So this will, this can be overcome only when we have the spiritual knowledge. So that's why Prabhupada says about distributing the books. Um, like Prabhupada, yesterday, Prabhuji gave an example. I think Ram Girdhar Prabhu, PAPAD, preach a person a day. So when we preach, when we give the books, the person will read, or he will just give it to somebody else. So he will have some knowledge what Prabhupada is saying. Then the third thing to overcome by these effects of Maya is sadhu sangha, association. If we simply read and gain the knowledge, and we think that we can be remaining in Krishna, but no, we have to take the shelter of spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada and his his disciples, and then with the association of the devotees, and we can see their real light. So we talked about how the Lord appears, what are his different forms, and how the material qualities and the spiritual qualities are, and how they are bewildering the material qualities, they are bewildering the living entity, and how a living entity can overcome with those effects. There is a beautiful verse given in Bhagavad Gita, as we all know, most of us remember by watching that, B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata also. It used to come yada idai dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthana dharmasya tadatmana srijamyam. So Lord simply says, why I appears? Lord appears for a purpose. Purpose is um, to deliver the pious, like the saints, and annihilate the miscreants. And then what he does after that, he re-establishes dharma. Right. So that's the purpose of the Lord. Lord can appear in any forms, like as I mentioned above. He can appear as a Matsya. He can appear as a Varha or Narsingadev or Kurma or Lord Ram. So, and how frequently Lord appears is, it is said that Krishna himself appears in his original form once in the day of Brahma. And we already discussed in the previous chapters, what is the day of Brahma. So, 1,000 Mahayugas, Krishna appears. So when um, Lord appears, this verse talks about um, expanding, to maintain the universe and teach the dharma, like preaching this transcendental knowledge. This transcendental knowledge, it is it can be taught in a multiple what we say sampradayas, right? So, and then Lord, when he teaches in Bhagavad Gita, he teaches about multiple things, like he teaches about the jnana, he teaches about the karma and the yoga, bhakti yoga, and everything. So all these teachings our Lord provides when he comes. Then as a human, as a living entity, so think about this. So when Krishna appears in every yuga, and let's say if Krishna even appears in his original form, and he's in a human form basically. So if you remember when Lord appeared, Mother Devaki and Vasudev, they got like, frightened because Lord had the four-handed form. So they wanted Lord to appear. They were scared that Kansa will come and he will see that he is a Vishnu only. So then they prayed to Lord that please come into your uh, normal form, in a human form. So when Lord appears in human form, um, it's a he does not go beyond his limitation. He's like, um, he does the same activities as the normal human being does. Like, whatever the human limitations are. Like Krishna Lord goes to the uh, ashram, like, for studying, even though he is all knowledgeable. So um, he he adapts all these rules and regulations. Um, and he also Lord gets scared also. He cries like many pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam. Like he's scared of Mother Yashoda when Mother Yashoda was running after him. So he acts within the human limitations as well when Lord appears here. This verse also talks about the Sanak. These are like the description about the four sages, like, Sanat Kumars, basically Sanak, Sananda, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumars, basically Sanandan. So these are the like four sages, and they are born of Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma asked them to create progeny, basically, but they wanted to preach. So they were like, they did not follow Brahma's order, and they just went for they refused his order, and they wanted to remain as a nastic brahmachari, means they will never marry, all the four Sanat Kumars. But then when Manu appeared, we have 14 Manus. So like, when Manu appeared, so like, so he basically uh, obey the Brahma's order, and then all this creation continued, right? Um, Other than this, from this verse, we have the mention of yagna. So there were like when it says Sanak Kumar, so they preach the transcendental knowledge. So in Bhagavatam, in the fourth canto, it's a pastime of with Prathu Maharaj. So it has some teachings of the Sanat Kumars. Like for a couple of them, I will just share. Um, these are based on the scriptures, like, they mention, like, having the faith in the words of Guru and the scriptures, um, worshipping the Yogeshwar Lord Krishna, practicing the non-violence, adhering to the principles, regularly meditating on the qualities of the Lord. So these are some of them actually, the teachings of the Sanat Kumars as well. This verse, this also mention about Lord Hari. It's a you mentioned about Hari. Um, so Hari means, like, the one who removes the ignorance. So he takes everything that blocks the soul's um, returning to Krishna, which means um, Hari takes our sin, our suffering, ignorance, illusion, and everything that he takes. And when somebody surrenders to the Lord, so first what Krishna takes away? So first he takes his sins. He takes all his pap. When somebody Krishna doesn't, he removes all his sinful reactions. Right? In Bhagavad Gita 9.30, there is a verse given. Even if one commits a most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly. So that means, like, whatever the sins he have done, if he surrendered and he is in devotional service, then Krishna will um, cleanse his heart. He will take all his sins. Then Krishna will take away, Hari will take away all the suffering. Whatever the sufferings uh, are there, material distress, he will take away those. As the Lord says, in the 9th chapter, I personally carry what my devotee lacks and preserve what he has. Right? So he, takes away his fear, anxiety, and everything is removed. Then Lord takes away his avidya. He destroys. How he takes away? He sends his associates. He sends somebody in our life. So he destroys the darkness of knowledge. Lord says in 10th chapter in 11th verse, out of compassion I destroy the darkness of ignorance with the lamp of knowledge. So Lord's take away the sins, the suffering, the avidya, and then he takes away the material attachments. Right? Why material attachment? Because those things will keep us bound. And this will keep us reminding our false identity here, basically, that we belong here in this material world. So if Lord takes away the material attachments, um, then he remembers Lord, basically. Then and finally, in Vrindavan and devotees, basically, what Krishna does, what Lord Hari does, he steals butter, he steals the hearts of his devotees, gopis, and he steals all the misery and all these things. So I thought I will share um, the word Hari, the meaning, and what the Lord Hari takes away from us. And there are so many verses given from the scriptures, from the Srimad Bhagavatam, like in a first canto itself. Lord says, it's a beautiful verse. Shravanatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantostho Hiya Bhadrani Vidunoti Suhrita Satam. So, translation is Krishna, who is situated in the heart, cleanses all inauspicious things for those who hear and chant about him. So, the word Abhadrani means inauspicious things. Like inauspicious things are the sin, the lust, anger, ignorance, everything. Krishna will take away from the herd. So many examples given in Bhagavatam, how Krishna removes the material distress, the material attachments, the ignorance, and how Krishna, does a lila, he steals butter, he steals the herd. And one beautiful pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam comes is when Krishna deliver Putna, basically. So Putna was sent to kill Krishna, and she disguised as a beautiful mother, and she smeared uh, very poison on her breast, and she was planning to poison Bal Krishna. So Krishna was only few days old, and he began to suck Putna's breast, and along with the milk, he sucked out her life air. And then Putna screamed, and she fell dead, and she revealed her gigantic demonic form. Um, so you can see um, Krishna took away her sin, and he gave her the liberation as well. So he awarded her a position like that of a nurse, in the spiritual world. Why is that? Why Krishna did? Because she offered her milk to Krishna, and even though she had the bad intention. That was a beautiful example. Other examples are from Bhagavatam is Damodar Leela, like when Krishna is stealing the butter and steal the herds. Another is Damodar Gajendra Moksha, when Lord Hari removes the fear and death instantly. And then Kalyadaman Leela also there, when Hari removes the poison from the Yamuna. You know, when the Yamuna was contaminated with the poison of the Kaliya. So all these pastimes, beautiful pastimes are provided. Um, I don't think I have anything else in this verse, but there is a word here, Yagna Valkya. That also is Yagna Valkya is basically he's a great sage, um, and what he provided, he explained the karma as part of the spiritual development. So there were some Upanishad he contributed to. Um, so there was many things he said, like perform your duties, and when you do that, do not attach to the results, and use the karma as a tool to purify your mind, right? So that you can be ready for the self relation. So there were some teachings were given. So there is a beautiful example. A story was given, a farmer and the flood. So imagine there is a farmer who plants his field like every year, and he tirelessly he irrigates, he water, or and he hopes that there is a good harvest at the end. So 1 year, despite all of his effort, suddenly, flood comes and his crops are destroyed. A worldly person, he might be in distress. He will blame his bad luck, and he will, right? But if the farmer follows the Yajnavalkya's teaching, um, his teachings means, he did his duty faithfully, right? He cultivated this and he worked on that field, and the results were beyond his control. Like whatever he did, he cannot control the result. There are many factors that can affect it, and the effort itself um, purifies um, purifies his character basically. So if he would have follows these teachings, then he would not be in distress. So those kind of teachings, in nutshell, provided by Yagna Valkya. I will not go too much in detail. So I just want to, just the name came, and thought I will share some details also. And like that, Dattatreya is also mentioned. Dattatreya is who? He is a teacher of the yoga. So he also, um, he also, there is a story, small story, when King of Yadu, he was wandering in the forest, and he saw the Dattatreya, and Dattatreya is very happy, and he's free from all the worries. So he asked him two questions: what is the secret of your happiness, and who is your guru? Then Dattatreya replied. Um, so he explained very beautifully. Um, the the secret of his happiness was he this secret of his happiness is he's blissful because of his self realization, right? And he said, I've learned these wisdoms, like this creation and everything, from many individuals, from many gurus. And his guru were not the human teachers like we have. His guru were Dattatraya's guru were the natural elements. They were his teachers. Like natural elements means, the earth, water, air, fire, sky, sun, moon, everything. The python, the pigeon, ocean, everything. We'll just go quickly. Like, for example, from the earth, what he learned? He learned the patience and the forbearance. Like Mother Earth, she bears every hardship, and she always gives the life, and she always gives the fruits, basically. So he learned that patience. Then from the water, he learned the purity, because water cleans everything it touches. Right? Whenever our hands are dirty, we take a shower. So water, that means purity. He learned from the water. Then he learned from the pigeon and her mate. He learned that even a good contact can become a bond, actually. Like if you come in contact with somebody, that can become a bondage. And then from the child, he learned innocence. There are many other things that goes on, like how Dattatreya learned, um, from his 24 gurus. This is a very beautiful pastimes. Like so I will stop here. I think there are so many things to talk from this verse also. So I will stop here, and we can discuss, and you can correct and share your realization or any questions you have.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please
Hare
accept my
Krishna.
humble obeisances. Thank you for such a wonderful and deep explanation uh, on many of the aspects. Only one question arises to my mind. You mentioned about the desires that makes every soul to come down, desiring desirement desiring enjoyment. So, first question comes to my mind is that, like, from where these desires come when the soul is already initially or may not be, you know, uh, later, maybe later, it is on this planet. So how, from what is the source, or how this desires comes, whether they are self mind concoctions, or it comes from it, it is a part of Krishna's Leela.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice question. So the desire comes from, the original source is the soul. So because if it's in its pure state, um, if the desire it's directed to Krishna, that means a loving exchange, and we have a relationship to the Lord. Um, but if the desire, that should be the real way, to the Atma only. And then other way is if the desire gets misdirected um, by our mind, or our senses, or our false ego, then basically, so then it becomes our material conditioning. We forget Krishna. And these desires, they never get seem satisfied, basically. They are like endless. So the desire basically comes from the person, from our subtle body as well. Like we have a subtle body which is connected to our soul, and that is given what we remember from our previous lifetime. If there was anything that was not done or that was left, like somebody wanted to enjoy something, somebody, those desires will get fruitified in this lifetime. Yeah, that's what I think, Prabhu. Like, those comes from our, and also like, desires come of our, like, what we do in our daily life. If we associate with the bad people, then the desires will be there accordingly. And if we associate with the saintly people, then the desires will be to serve Krishna. Yeah, Prabhu, this is what I can think.
Yeah, I understood about the subtle body, but only this question arised when we mention, like it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, like Krishna is the cause of all causes. Then whether it is a good cause or bad, everything, like behind everything, there is the Bhagwan, like Krishna. So, yeah. Or else, yeah. Finally, the soul's mind is responsible for that. I agree. Hare Krishna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like Krishna is the Sarvakarana Karanam. Basically, he's the cause of all causes. He is the source of our soul. Of our soul, he is the source of our will also, which is desire. So he gives us the free, freedom. Like whatever, he gives us the free will. Because of this free will, the desire will come actually. He, you know, so we have to, as a devotee, as a normal person, we have to make the judgment, like, whether I should do this thing or not do this. Whether it will degrade me, or like, I will connect to Krishna. I will connect to the God. That's why the spiritual knowledge is very necessary as well.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah, association is more important.
More
Yes.
important.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Keep away. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So Krishna is basically, he's not responsible for our material desire. That's a thing I want to say. Like, he gives us all the facility. He arranges the things. He gives us the memory, intelligence, and everything. It just us basically. He gives us the forgetfulness also. So he's not responsible for our material desire. So we have to take it this way. Yeah. And those desires will also not stop. They will coming. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Any other question? Anybody want to share? I know the class was like, the discussion was a little technical, like in terms of discussing the various number of elements, Lord appearance, and what are the different avatars of the Lord and everything. So it's something to remind ourselves again and again.
Yes, your class has helped us today, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you so much for this nectar class. As you said, and there was a lot of information, and we will listen the class again and absorb the knowledge you gave us today. And I like especially the explanation you gave for verse to verse, like from first verse to seventh verse today, the essence of every verse. So that was very wonderful, Prabhuji. And today you did two verses, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mother, 2 verse 7th and 8th basically. Although 7, 8, 9, they were, I think, yeah, they were all connected.
Okay.
Actually, first 7s are connected, then 8 through 11 they are connected. So I only covered 7 and 8. So basically, next speaker can cover like 9 and 11. They are all related verses.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, they are basically on expansion of Manavantras and everything.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
Mataji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question or comment? Please go ahead. Otherwise, we can end up the call here. Yeah. So, okay, no, nobody has any question or comment. We can end up the
Thank you,
call.
Mataji. Yeah, we can end here.
Achakalapadarvesha kripa sindhu
Kripa sindhu bhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo.
अनंत कोटि की जय नमाचार्य शिलादास ठाकुर की जय
जय
मित्रा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय
जय
इस ग्रेस मध्य दास प्रभु की जय
All
जय
की
थैंक यू
जय.
प्रभु जी थैंक यू
Hare
प्रभु जी
Krishna, Mataji.
हरे
थैंक
कृष्ण
यू प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
धन्यवाद प्रणाम हरे कृष्ण